All right, let's get it started. We are in the QC district at 10 Park Lanes, squad number 2. And here we have it, baby. Ladies and gentlemen, UBA all day, first and foremost. But let me tell you who's on the mic. You got John Smith, a.k.a. Crazy Legs, member of Minister Society, who also had a match earlier today, but we'll talk about it a little later. Right now, we're going to give you what we are focused on. We're focused on Kings Court versus one of your previous UBA champions, G-Town. All right, and this match is always interesting because you have people who were on previous teams that are now bowling against each other. Once teammates, now opponents. That's always an awesome situation, but let's go. First game, first and foremost, we are focusing on the scratch pair. And I'm going to tell you who's on the scratch pair right now. Kings Court, your leadoff is going to be Michael H. And a little something about Michael H. His last name is so long, it does not fit into the recap. So Michael H. is your leadoff. Curtis Smith is your second bowler. And Jamie Gabriel is your anchor. On the G-Town heavy hitters, you have Brian Halen, Dustin Gibson, and Dakota Jordan. Averages don't matter on this pair because it's all scratch, but I will tell you what they average because people like that. All right, so Michael H. is 223, Curtis Smith is 219, and Jamie Gabriel is 224 for Kings Court. And G-Town heavy hitters, you have Brian Halen, who's 240, Dustin Gibson, 229, and anchoring Dakota Jordan, 238. Again, this match is awesome because you have friends versus foes. We are out here representing the UBA, ladies and gentlemen. This is the QC district, way down south, not all the way deep south, but in the middle. Queen City district. If you don't know where the Queen City district is, that's Charlotte, baby. And it's always an entertaining match when you have these two teams up against one another. So we will be focusing on the scratch pair game 1. We will slide over to Handicap 2 game 2, and we will finish in the middle with Handicap 1 game 3. So let's go ahead and give you a little brief information about what happened earlier. So again, like I told you, this is the second squad. First squad, your matchups were Mob versus Minister Society. Mob won by 12 total pins. Your pin count and total points were 26-14 Mob. Dilligaff versus 187 Inc. It was 30-10. And Venom versus Natural Disaster by a total of 1-2 pins. Natural Disaster 26, Venom 14. That was your earlier matchup if you're just tuning in. But you know what it is. It's UB all day, and we are live going at it. So right now, your leadoff on the left side, Kings Court, Michael H. 10 all the way back. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Brian, also 10 back for G-Town. The two-hander rev rate is probably 9,000, ladies and gentlemen. He gets underneath it, aside it, behind it, whatever you want. That thing is going to move. All right, we got Tater, a.k.a. Curtis Smith. And that is also 10 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 back for a nice strike. And if you don't know anything about bowling, strike is the strike first plus your next 2 balls. And Dustin Gibson, the guy that does not give a damn about anything, look at his face. Yes, strike. 10 all the way back. That is Dustin Gibson. He is by far the most nonchalant bowler I have ever seen in my life on the left-hand side of the lanes, ladies and gentlemen. Here you go. That's Jamie with a 2-pin. Did not hit the way he wanted it to, but that's 9. 9 is always good when you throw the ball like trash, and he did not throw it well. All right, we got Cooter, a.k.a. Dakota. Last name Jordan. No relation to Michael, but he's up. The anchor for your G-Town heavy hitters on the scratch pair. And he went on the left side of things. He left a smooth 6 pin. So you all know that was high, very high. Hopefully he makes an adjustment, but he was lucky to leave that because that could have very well been a split. Jamie covered his spare. So we're looking real smooth like after frame 1. I'm pretty sure Dakota will miss. And that's the open. That is what is known in baseball as an unforced error. Not baseball, but tennis. That's an unforced error, ladies and gentlemen. Kuda with the open. All right, Brian on the strike. Ooh, almost up to 4-9. He got lucky. 4 pin is standing. Now we got Michael H. with the longest last name in the history of the UBA. He is bowling now. Woo, 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 woo. And that is 10 back. The message that went and said hello to the 10 pin. He's on a double, and that's where you want to be after 2. You want to be perfect after 2. All right, Brian with the 4 pin spare. And we are in it, ladies and gentlemen. Also, while we're talking about things, I want to let you know what else is going on. We got the Carolina Rollers versus Teamster 10-10. Also, Kings Court versus G-Town Heavy Hitters, which is what you're watching. And on the far end to the right, we have the Militia versus Southern Style Mafia, ladies and gentlemen. We are in it. And I'll be walking around, probably talking to a few people because you may get sick and tired of hearing my voice. Probably won't because my voice is great. And that is a terrible shot, ladies and gentlemen. Dustin Gibson, the guy who does not care about anything, with a split. And if you are taking score, that is a 2-7. Sorry, 3-7. That is a 3-7 split for a lefty. You know, let's see if he makes an adjustment. We'll see. Jamie with the 10 pin, and Dustin does not get anything. And if you don't know anything about me, I'm going to tell you all pins matter, and he did not get anything on the field ball. So, yeah, if it comes down to losing by 1 or 2 pins, it's going to be Dustin Gibson's fault, ladies and gentlemen. All right, Jamie with his 10-pin attempt. He's good. All right, so he's clean. Dakota trying to make up for missing that ridiculous spare in the first frame. If you know anything about Kuda, he doesn't normally do that. However, here we are. Yeah, so Kuda with a 4-pin. Just honestly didn't look good. The ball did not react down lane at all. Didn't finish, as most of you will say. Pause. No diddy. All right, Kuda. 4-pin spare. Phenomenal. So we're moving on to frame 3. And right now, you have Kings Court up by about 14 pins. And here's Brian with the 2-handed. All the revs you need, that is 10 all the way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the way back. Picture perfect strike. Literally split the 8 and 9. And here's Michael H. Waving it off, but he doesn't need to wave anything. That is 10 back. He is perfect after 3. Here we go. Dustin, I don't care about anything. Gibson, yes. Looks good off his hand. He really throws the ball really good, but that's a 7-pin. Flat 7 of that if you're taking score at home. Here comes Tater, Curtis Smith for Kings Court on lane 21. As soon as he fixes the score. That was one thing about this place earlier, ladies and gentlemen. In this area, these 6 lanes, they were not cooperating with the bowlers, especially 23 and 24. It was trash. All the pins were falling around all over the place. However, and Tater with the trash can juice strike. They barely hit their head pin, but it falls back. He is also perfect after 3. Dustin Gibson doing what he does not normally do, which is pick up a 7-pin. Ladies and gentlemen, Dustin Gibson is your most unenthusiastic bowler to ever step foot in the UBA. He doesn't care about anything. Look at his face. So we have Jamie, the anchor for King's Court, on 9 spare, trying to get his first strike. And he does not. He also gets an 8 count. That is looking like the 4-7. Pretty easy spare for a righty, but hey, you never know. All right, Kuda is up. Off the hand, a little high, 4-pin. So also you have your 2 anchors on this scratch pair who have not yet thrown a strike, and Jamie barely skims out the 4-7. I mean, barely skims out the 4-7, ladies and gentlemen. Again, your anchors on the scratch pair have yet to strike. They're being held up by their counterparts in the first and second hole. I am sitting next to Brian Hahn, who is also part of G-Town Heavy Hitters, who have also won it all in the UBA. Brian, why the hell are you not bowling?
I am bowling.
Oh, well, Brian is bowling, and we'll see Brian after this game. He will be featured on the Handicap 2 pair. I like messing with Brian because he's one of the few people that's almost as tall as me, ladies and gentlemen.
He's pretty.
No, Brian Hahn says he's pretty, but he's not. Survey says absolutely not. On that one, Brian Hahn is one of the ugliest bowlers in the UBA. Oh, Brian Halen with the ringing 10. Again, this guy has about 7,000 revs. He throws about 200, and here you go, Michael H. I can't fit my last name in anything with the baby split. The 310 is left on lane 22. So again, y'all, here we are. UBA all day. And this match, oh my goodness, Brian misses the 10 pin with the whiff, with the I don't know about the 10 pin, baby. Yeah, he missed it. But again, he is also leading off a pair where his anchor has not thrown a strike. And Michael Latt, longest last name in America, does not pick up the baby split. So he now has an open. So, as it stands after, 4.5 frames. Good strike for Dustin Gibson. But as it stands after 4.5 frames, G-Town's up by about 30 pins right now. It is a very tight match. Opens galore. Here's Tater, a.k.a. Curtis Smith. And let me tell you about the last name Smith. Such a phenomenal last name because, that's my last name. And that was a terrible shot. He was lucky to only leave the 3-pin. Should be an easy pickup for Tater, but I've seen Tater miss some things. Also, Tater is missing the top of his hair. Don't worry about it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm going to tell him to let it go later. But that's Tater, just, And as I say, the roof is missing. The roof is missing for Tater. And so we're waiting for Kuda to finally throw a strike at the anchor position on the scratch pair. And Tater picks up that 3-pin with no problem. Jamie comes up, and again, 3 frames. The 2 anchors have not thrown a strike. They have 9s and 8s. So here's Kuda. Looks like Kuda changed balls, and he left a pocket 7-10. So here's the deal with that. The 10-pin fell. It was not a good shot. Let's not act like it was. It was not. He was lucky to only leave the 7-pin, and he still has yet to throw a strike. Jamie is up. Twinkle toes, throwing it straight up. 10. Bang, bang, Siegel Street. That's a strike. And Kuda with the 7-pin make. Kuda still has yet to throw a strike. Jamie finally throws his first strike. King's Court is up by about 60. Ladies and gentlemen, they're up by 61 going into the 5th frame. Listen, if you've never even seen or been a part of a UBA event, what people do is they are very loud, they're very animated, they are very passionate about what they do. They throw that ball. Michael H. with the 10 all the way back. And here's Brian, 2-handed. I got all the revs, and that's also 10 back. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for the leadoffs on King's Court and G-Town. And you hear it. They're smacking them down. They're smacking them all the way down.
Let's go, Chuck.
Here's Tater. He's up. He's on a spare. And that is a god-awful shot, ladies and gentlemen. That is a 7 count. That is, I did not have enough fingers in it, or I threw the ball too fast, or both. Dustin Gitzman, your unenthusiastic lefty. Bang, bang. Siegel Street. Dustin is now on a double. He is showing everyone that you don't have to say a word to strike, and Dustin does not say much. Tater with the spare. And we are going to the anchors who have been the worst bowlers on their teams up to 5 frames. They have stunk it up. However, here's Cooter. And if I got my money on Cooter, this is going to be a strike. Because Cooter does not like to not strike. And I am all the way wrong. He got a lucky, very, very lucky 6-pin. And Jamie is trying to throw a double. He missed way inside. He smelt the side that Dustin lives on, and he struck. We call that a Brooklyn in North Carolina. Yeah, but he's on a double. He's the anchor that is on a double, and Cooter has yet to throw a strike. He has 5 nines, 1 open, and he smashes the 6-pin. So as we flow into frame 6, again, King's Court is up 289 to 230. If you are a math major or minor, that is 59 pins. We don't have to add any other pins on this pair because it's all scratch. And here's Brian, the 2-hander with all the revs, leaves a 6-pin. He almost left the big 4. He got lucky. Here's Michael. My last name cannot fit in the box. Throwing it. And he leaves a 6-10. Both balls were awful. So if you're watching, you see, I'm not making this up. Here's Brian picking up the 6-pin smoothly. And we're going to see what Michael, my last name can't fit in the box, does. Because let me tell you something about that 6-10. I hate it. I hate his guts. The 6-10 gets on my nerves. I think I might hate it worse than the 10-pin. Because I chopped that 6 off that son of a you-know-what. But Michael says, yes. He picks up the 6-10. All right. And right now, Tater is doing this thing. He's probably the leading bowler on the pair right now in the 2-hole. And Dustin, Mr. Unenthusiastic, is up. The lefty, the lone lefty on the pair. Smooth. I mean, it's smooth. You can barely hit a lane when he throws his ball, but he almost have a 7 count. Only standing is the 2-pin. Tater just pulls it. I think he wants to be a lefty, but he leaves the baby split, and I don't know if he has a vasectomy, but I don't know if he can pick up and make babies. We'll see. 3-10 for Tater. And let me tell you something about bowling. You don't want your scores to look like a bingo card. Like all those circles around your numbers, that means you threw a split. That's not what you want. All right, Dustin picks up the 2-pin with no problem. And Tater makes a baby. Ladies and gentlemen, he may have a baby on the way. We don't know, but he picks that baby split up. All right, so we're down to the anchors who have been the weakest link so far, except Jamie. Jamie's on a double. Tater, I'm sorry, not Tater, Cooter. You know these wild nicknames over here. But Cooter, who has yet to throw a strike, has all 9s. Has an open in the first frame, but he's looking for his first strike on lane 21. Oh, Chuck Ritchie, my guy. Coach, baby, coach. You'll see Chuck Ritchie featured in game 3. He's on the middle pair. But, oh, baby, as Mal Williams would say. But that's Cooter, Dakota Jordan, with his first strike in the 6th frame. Jamie looked over at him and said, I think I can outdo that, little cub. So Twinkle Toes comes up. fires that thing around 8, and it's a almost split, but it leaves a 4-7. Luckily, ladies and gentlemen, that was luck. I think he went to church this morning. That's why he did not bowl in the first squad. And also about the UBA, I don't think they like Christians because they make us bowl very early at 9 and 10 o'clock in the morning on Sunday, and we would like to be in church, but that's a whole nother conversation. Isn't that right, Tracy? Say yes.
No.
All right. And Tracy is a phenomenal bowler. She was part of G-Town Heavy Hitters when they won it all. He picks up the 4-7, ladies and gentlemen. So he is still clean at the bottom, trying to make the anchor spot do something. But we got Michael H. on lane 21, who has thrown looks like a 6-7. And he gets the 6. That is his second open. He started off with the front 3, and he has not found anything since. But here's your two-hander. I have all the revs in the world. Ha-ha! That looks like 10 back off his hand, and it is. And it is. And if you are just now tuning in, Kings Court up by about 50 on G-Town on the scratch pair. And Tater gets that light mix. Let me tell you, those light mixes carry in this house. He gets to mix them up, and he's still clean after 7 frames. We got Dustin Gibson, the lone lefty on the scratch pair, looking to throw a strike. After throwing the ball atrociously, not sure if that's a word, but it was bad in the 6th frame. And here he comes in the 7th. Super smooth, and he left a solid 8 count. For a lefty, that's a little high. All right, Jamie Twinkle Toes is trying to do something as an anchor. He does not. He leaves the 5-7, ladies and gentlemen. The 5-7. That's a very light hit. And Dustin Gibson is going at his spare. He picks up the 8 pin with no problem at all. So again, sliding down to the anchor spot. Kings Court is up by about 70. With the whiff. That would be Jamie's first open as the anchor bowler. He whiffed the 5-7. He did not. It was not close at all. So here's Cooter trying to throw a double, trying to put some pressure on these guys because right now they're getting absolutely smacked on the scratch pair. Dakota, last name Jordan, missed inside and leaves another 6-10. So those who are watching and seeing this, you say, well, make an adjustment. Correct. He switched balls. He's still missing inside. But you say, well, he's on the scratch pair. He's an anchor. He should be able to. Listen. He's a human being, ladies and gentlemen. He's throwing the ball like complete dog, you know what. But hopefully he can pick up this spare to at least try to help his team bring it closer, moving in to the only 3 frames that matter. And then they lead off doubles. Because Brian says, I have all the revs in the world and I'm going to use them. Good shot, Brian. Kuda picks up the 6-10. And ladies and gentlemen, we are looking at a very getting close match on the scratch pair. We're looking at about 40 pins. Their leadoff, Michael H. for Kings Court, steps up on lane 22 on an open. We'll see what he does. He can finish if he strikes out with a 223, but we'll see. I don't want to get ahead of myself. 8 frame. Looks like he switched balls, and he also missed inside. He has no clue. He leaves the 3-pin, luckily. Dustin Gibson on a spare. Smooth as can be. Also misses inside. It goes Brooklyn, and he leaves the 4-pin. For a lefty, that's awful. But they both have 9, hopefully 9 spares, but we'll see what goes on. So again, we are at 10 Park Lanes. If you know anything about the Charlotte area, this is the house that George Pappas built. Ladies and gentlemen, Bolero has decided to come and sweep it up, but that's not what we're talking about right now. They both spare it up, and we are looking at about a 20, I won't say 20 because G-Town's a little head of King's Court. Their angle's coming up, and Tater, who's the second bowler's up. So it's about a 40-pin difference, but these are the frames that matter. And if you know anything about bowling or anything about life, everything matters. All pins matter. Even if you throw a split, get the wood. Pause. And Tater with the high and tight. Ooh, yeah, strike. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 back. For Tater, Curtis Smith, he's on a double. So that lead has squeezed up. Looking at a 51-point deficit right now. As the angles come, Kuda throws the ball extremely awful as he has been doing the entire first game. He's lucky to leave the 2-pin. I've not seen Dakota throw the ball this bad in a very long time. He is stinking it up. And Jamie Gabriel gets the God bless you strike because that was awful. It went straight through the beak and everything fell in the back row. So he came off that split and he's now on a strike, ladies and gentlemen. Tater, my brother, last name Curtis Smith. I'm going to interview him probably after this game because it's Smith's rule, baby. Shit, that's what we do. All right, going into frame 9. King's Court is up by 32. But that could change if Brian decides he wants to throw a triple, a turkey. You know, and we're a little before Thanksgiving, but that gobble gobble will be great for G-Town, and it looks good. And, oh, my goodness, that is what you call a flush 7-pin for a righty. They hate it. They don't want to see it. They'd rather have a beer gut. Yes, but that was a good shot. And Michael H. crumples down the bucket. And if you know anything about crumpling down the bucket, ask Dennis Kilo. He did it very well to win the Eagle. That's a whole different conversation for another day. Good strike for the lead opposition. And Brian decides to pick up a 7-pin. It's still a little closer, but had he thrown that strike, ladies and gentlemen, we'd be having a different conversation right now. But again, King's Court is up by 23 as Tater goes and throws the ball terribly, ladies and gentlemen. I mean, terrible. 6 count. And when I say 6 count, that is the 2, 4, 5, 7. That is an awfully light shot. And Dustin Gessman, smooth as ice, strike. That's huge for G-Town. And look at his face. He doesn't care about anything. And Tater just blows his load and opens in the 9th frame. And ladies and gentlemen, we have a new day. New day. 27-pin difference going into the 10th. Jamie would love to have this strike to go with a double. Kuda would love to just do anything that looks positive because he has been stinking it up. However, here we go. And Jamie throws it like trash, leaves a 5-pin. And the hands go up. The hands go up. We got it right. Everyone wants a drink. I am thirsty. Everyone wants a drink. The hands go up for Jamie. Twinkle toes, and here goes Kuda. He needs this strike. He does not. Oh! When you almost have a 4-9, the 4 falls and the 9 says, all I need is to go to sleep. It goes to sleep. Big strike. Big strike. Big strike for Kuda. Big strike. Jamie does pick up the 5-pin, so he does not have to buy a drink for the entire bowling alley. We wanted it. The thirst is strong for us in this back. The carpet, we want a drink. However, we are going into the 10th frame where it all matters, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm on bullet right now. You know what I'm saying?
King's Court is still up by 27 pins.
I just want to tell you.
Thank you. That's a big, thank you. That's a big shot for Brian. And I was just informed that there was a change in the lineup earlier, and I was calling people the wrong names, ladies and gentlemen. But you got to tell me, because if I don't know you, I don't know you. Yeah. So that is Jamie. Yeah. I know. Brian, y'all didn't change anything. G-Town didn't change anything. He threw a strike. He needed that. He needs his double. Oh, he needs his double badly. And he gets it. He gets that wiggle. And if you ever see me, this is when I do the shoulder shimmy shake, ladies and gentlemen, because that was a mixer. And that, my friends, makes it a little more interesting. And so this is Jamie Gabriel bowling first. I thought it was Michael, but I was wrong because they didn't know how to change the lineup and they didn't tell me. I apologize. And here's Jamie with a smooth strike, but he finishes with a 193. And that is not good on the scratch pair. It's probably not good on any pair in the UBA, but a 193 in the scratch pair sucks. And Brian Halen strikes out for a nice 207. Needs that, because now we go to the second bowler, and we are only 17 pins between losing and not. Good finish, bro. Good finish. You needed that. And Tater, who's on the open, really does not need to open again. And Dustin is on the strike. Tater with the 4-pin, a little high. He got inside. He probably wanted to be rolling that thing right over 8. It rolled over about 12. And Dustin, smooth as ice, turns his back because it was a complete and utter disgusting shot, ladies and gentlemen. And he leaves the 2-4-8. Nah, it's the 8-pin. He's up for 7 count. 2-4-8. Yep. Tater looks like he's going to pick up that 4-pin. But I'm telling you right now, the whole universe would be different had Dustin thrown that strike to have a double. It would have changed everything. But it changes nothing right now because Kings Court is still winning right now on the scratch pair. And Dustin cleans that up because, as I always say, clean up your mess. He cleaned up his mess. He can throw the strike to go 193. Also, not a good score, but seems to be like a,
Still in the game.
Still in there, baby boy. Still in there. Dustin is having a conversation with Lee Bolin, which is probably not the person he needs to be talking to, but he is talking. And you hear it. You hear it. That's on another pair. They're doing work. Tater stinks it up in the 10th frame. Leaves a 6-10 his last ball. And Dustin switches balls and strikes in the 10th for a 193. So as we slide down to the 10th frame, right now, Kings Court has 560. G-Town has 555, but G-Town's on the strike. Kings Court's on the spare. If Dakota decides to wake his ass up and throws his double, we got a new game. But Twinkle Toes, Michael, I can't fit my last name in the box. Ugh. And that is a 10-pin. It could have very easily been a 210, but that's a 10-pin, and here we are. And don't you love these games where it comes down to the 10th frame? That's what it's all about. Is your heart gonna beat? Are you made of what? Are you made out of Kool-Aid, or are you made out of, I ain't gonna say that, but Kuda throws a strike. I caught him when he left his hand because that was the most confident shot Kuda has thrown all day. He has confidence in that thing, and I knew it was a strike when he left his hand. Jamie with a 10-pin spare.
Who are you in the 10th?
Correct. Who are you in the 10th?
Who are you?
As Charlie Bean says, who are you in the 10th? Kuda. Who are you, Kuda?
Who are you?
Your last name is Jordan, so that means you should finish well, but we'll see. This one is huge, ladies and gentlemen. This is huge. Look good, threw it with the same confidence. And that is what I've been saying. That is 10 back. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Bam. And it looks like, as you hear behind me, it looks like G-Town is going to squeeze out this win on the scratch pair. And they needed every pin. Huge finish by Dakota. As I always say, that's why he's down there. That's why he's the anchor, because he finished. He started off like smooth trash, but he finished well. And Jamie leaves the bucket to shoot a 186 in the anchor spot on the scratch pair, and I don't need to tell you that's not good at all. I think my daughter Jalen can do that, and she does not bowl. So what does that tell you? He sucked. And G-Town is going to finish this game winning the 2 points on the scratch pair, thanks to Dakota Cuda Jordan. And he strikes out with a 205. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is what you want. And he said what I said earlier. That is why he's down there. Dakota, let me holler at you real quick, brother. Hey, man, you started off throwing the ball really bad, but you decided you made a ball change, so you finished with the last 4. What you think?
I mean, they were better. Still not overly happy with what I did there. Still not quite where I'd like to be, but, you know, they got 2 more games, so I'll figure it out and get going.
But you won.
That's right.
And you are down there for a reason, right?
That's right.
Also, I hate your guts because the last time I bowled against you, you shot 300 on me. But that's a whole different conversation.
Maybe with you here, I got 2 more tries.
And you heard it first from Dakota, who just threw the back 4. So they can win by 15. No, 20. They won by 20. They won by 20. They won by 20 on the scratch pair. 605 to 585. Not good scores, but it doesn't matter about the scores. The points matter. The points matter. The points matter. We'll be sliding over to Handicap 2 going into Game 2, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I'm just letting you know where we're going, but we're staying on scratch right now because it looks like they're going to get started with Game 2 because Handicap 2 has yet to finish. They are in the 10th frame. Don't worry about that right now because you can't see it. We're giving you all the audio you need. Yes, yes. We also have front 9 on Handicap 2. Front 9 on Handicap 2. If we need to tune into that, we will, but we got front 9 on Handicap 2 for King's Court. I'll let you know how that finishes as we continue to go. Charlie just reminded me that we may have a tray on Handicap 2 for King's Court. And Jamie goes Brooklyn, going into Game 2. He goes Brooklyn. Hey, you know, it doesn't matter. It's all about what you see, right? And clearly he's not seeing it well, but it was a strike. That was a terrible shot. Disgusting. But it doesn't matter. Here goes Brian, all the revs in his hands, plural. Ooh, the messenger did not kick it out. It did not kick it out, so he left the 10 pin. 10 pin standing on lane 21 for Brian. And here's Tater going Brooklyn. I don't know what it is about. They are completely pulling the ball over on that right lane, but it doesn't matter. A strike is a strike is a strike. So it's not how you start, it's how you finish, but they've started with 2 strikes for King's Court. After giving the game 1 away, because they gave it away. Had they done a little better in the 10th frame, we wouldn't be having this conversation, but here we are. All right, we got Michael. I can't fit my last name. But before we do that, we are on the front 11. Who was that? We got Jamie. We got Jeremy Avery on the front 11 on Handicap 2 for King's Court. Jeremiah on the front 11. And he looks, as they say, as cool as a cucumber. But he looks as cool as me right now, because I'm probably the coolest person in this building. But he looks as cool as me right now. And the car guy, what are you gonna do? And he finishes, he goes 300 on Handicap 2. Jeremiah Avery with the 300. And Jeremiah, just can you tell the people that are watching how you felt on that last ball? Because it looked pure off your hand, but talk to him.
Felt good.
It
felt good.
The car guy says it feels good. He beat the you-know-what out of Brian Hahn, and that's all I care about. You know, I like the tall people losing this, unless it's me. Great bowling, brother. All right, so we will slide over to that pair right after this, but they're just finishing up game one. Scratch pairs on. They're in the second frame of game two. Well, finishing up the first frame. As your MVP thus far on the scratch pair, Kuda, who threw the last four, he's up right now. And that is another strike. That is 5 in a row for Kuda, but that is the first frame strike for him. He's feeling himself. He's feeling good. And I love it. All right, Brian starting off frame 2 for G-Town. I got all the reds in my hands, plural. Gets it a little high and leaves the 6-pin. Almost was the 4-6, but the 4 tripped itself out, probably because of the revs. But hey, I wouldn't know anything about that. I'm only one hand. On one hand. Luckily, the video is not on me. Yeah. 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 All right, we're going to slide on over to Handicap 2. As we slide over to Handicap 2, I will let you know who is on Handicap 2 for Kings Court and G-Town. Right? You know, this is now your featured game. And so on Handicap 2, on Kings Court, we have Randy Dino, we have Brian Rogers, and we have Jeremiah Avery Sr., who just shot a perfect 300. For the G-Town heavy hitters, we have Gene Ayers. And most of y'all didn't know his first name is William, but I'm not going to do that to him, but I just did. Gene Ayers is your leadoff. We got Karen, the beautiful Steiner, as your second bowler, and their anchor is James Brian Hahn, who stands at probably 6'6". He's one of the few people that is taller than me in the UBA, ladies and gentlemen. Karen, that is an awful shot. She leaves a 3-6-10, but it is probably awful because she's following Gene, and Gene actually threw a strike, but, you know, sometimes he gets beside himself. And I'm going to interview Gene in a minute because that's my guy. But Kings Court pulled out the first game on this pair with, again, Jeremiah shooting a perfect 300. You got that very quick interview with him, but here we are. Karen Steiner, who's a phenomenal bowler, throwing at the 3-6-10. Not a problem. She scoops it up. That's G-Town. Following her will be Brian Hahn. And if you don't know anything about Brian Hahn, he was at one point your Southeast heavyweight champion. He is an awesome bowler, cool guy, and he stands at 6'6". As Gene says, he wears size 20 shoe, and I'm gonna leave it at that. Because he's 6'6" and he weighs about 172 pounds, soaking wet with bricks in his pocket, but he throws 10 all the way back. And I'm going to keep it going. He went 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 all the way back, because that's what an angle should do. All right, so we got the MVP of game one, Jeremiah Avery, the car guy. That car guy, excuse me. He's coming up to throw his first ball in game 2. And again, they also won the first game. I don't quite have the scores in front of me. I'm going to get them from Miss Gaither. Miss Angela Gaither will give me those scores in about 30 seconds. But right now, that car guy is throwing his first ball in the second game. And he went front 12. Whoo! And he almost left a solid 8. He probably would have been pissed It was a beautiful shot, but the 8-pin decided to fall. That car guy strikes again. That is 13 in a row for that car guy. And just if you are keeping score at home, let me get out of the camera way. So, Randy Demo went 232. Brian Rogers went 167, and Jeremiah Avery with a 300. On the other side, which is G-Town, Gene Ayers went 195, Karen Steiner 189, and Brian Hahn 228. They lost. Kings Court won. So, and we're really talking about a 16-pin difference. G-Town is giving Kings Court 16 pins, but it didn't matter because they beat them scratch first game. All right, so here we are. Gene leads a 3-9-10. Terrible shot. Randy picks up the 10-pin, barely. All right, we got a brief audio intermission. I'll be right back. All right, then we're back.
There you go, Deshaun.
I failed to give you the averages of Handicap 2, and I apologize. So I'll do that right now. Good shot, Gene. Gene just went 10 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. But for Kings Court, we got Randy Deno, who averages 219. We have Brian Rogers, who averages 191. And we have Jeremiah Avery, who averages 220. For your G-Town heavy hitters, we have Gene Ayers, who averages 218. Karen Steiner, 209. And Brian Hahn with the 225. Right now, we're looking at Kings Court. They're up by about 26 pins. And you have your middle bowlers, Brian Rogers for Kings Court on the right lane, Karen Steiner for G-Town heavy hitters on the left lane. Fun fact, Karen Steiner is a former Kings Court member, as is Gene Ayers, which also makes this match what it is. It is one of those I want to whoop your ass matches. And Karen off the hand, that is 10 back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 79-10 for Karen Steiner. One of the smoothest women bowlers you will see in the UBA. She just throws the ball well. Brian Rogers, who leaves the 3-6-10, is trying to get this spare, who was on a double previously, and he does. So he's clean thus far. Karen is also clean thus far. Now you have your anchors. And on this pair, the anchors are actually anchoring. Brian Hall is on a double. Jeremiah Avery is on a double. So, going back, that's Jeremiah Avery on the front 13. And Brian Hahn is doing Brian Hahn things. The former Southeast UBA champ just goes back 10. He's on the front 3. And Jeremiah stops his string of 13 strikes in a row. Excuse me. 14 strikes in a row and leaves a 4-pin. Picks it up. And going into frame 4, without adding any pins right now, we have Kings Court up by 22. I have not added any pins, but I already told you earlier that G-Town is giving Kings Court 16. So you do that math. I'll do it later when it matters. And that is a Greek church for Randy. He missed inside from the beginning. He pulled that thing as if he was, you know what? He just pulled it. We're going to leave it at that. Let's see what Gene does. Because if this is Gene I know, we don't know. Well, we look good at the line. Oh, and let's get off the wall, the 4 and the 9. And Gene is on a double. And so Gene just threw that double. I need to have a quick conversation with him, real quick. So, Gene, how do you feel about bowling your old team right now?
Love it.
You threw that ball really well, even though off the board, the 4 and the 9 crumpled down. But, hey, bro, the way I know you, I think you'll do that again, won't you?
Yeah, they all 10 went down, didn't they?
All 10 went down, and that's all that matters. For all you kids at home, long as all the 10s go all the way back, that's all that matters. Doesn't matter how you do it. 2 hands, 1 hand, half a hand. All you want to do is strike. And guess what we're doing? Karen Steiner is trying to throw a double. The 10-pin falls for her. Lucky for her, that is just the 4-pin. She almost left the 4-10. It definitely came in high. So Brian B. Rob with a slight loft. And what he does is the 4-6-10. Excuse me. The 6-7-10. 6-7-10. 6-7-10. That's a 6-7-10 for Brian Rogers. And that's not a good shot. Karen Steiner is trying to scoop up her 4-pin. Because that just changed everything. Listen, and I tell you guys all the time, opens matter. You're like, oh, you threw a... Listen, get all the wood you can. Pause. But get all the wood as you can. And Brian only gets 1. He tried, looks like he tried to pick it up, but he only got 1. That might come to bite him in the you-know-what later on. So right now we're looking at a 13-pin deficit, and the anchors who are doing anchor things are up. Brian, I used to have the belt Horn. Off his hand, it looks good. And that's 10 back. He's on the front 4, and he's very excited. He's the only person I know that is 6'6" and weighs 172 pounds. Wet with bricks in his pocket, ladies and gentlemen. But he can bowl. I'm slim too, but I am 220. And I'm 6'4". But anyway, that's a whole different conversation. That card guy does not strike, and that's okay. He leaves a makeable. But he's looking at a 3-pin right now. That ball came in quite high. We're going to see if he's going to make an adjustment. We don't know, but we'll see in a minute. So now your leadoffs are up. as I like to call them, the bus drivers of the team. They're now up. Gene is on a double. Dino is on an open. And Randy almost throws another split, but he leaves the 4-7. Gene can really dig into him right now, pause, if he gets his strike. Papa Bear's up. Papa Bear releases. Looks good off his hand. And that is a turkey gobble gobble. And it's not Thanksgiving yet, but he has 3 in a row. He is now smacking Randy. But Randy does pick up the 4-7. So at least he does not get another open. And now you got your in-betweens. I like to call these people that sit at the spot the meat of the sandwich. These are the players that matter the most. You normally say, well, we're going to put our lower average people second. But they matter. And Karen is going to let you know she's clean. Right now, Brian is not. He's on a split. He's on an open. Karen is on a spare. We're going to see what happens. Right now, G-Town 244, Kings Court 226. I have not added in the handicap because I don't want to. I'll add it at the end. And Brian just tells me it's going to go up because that's Brian doing Brian things. And Brian Rogers almost leaves the 4-9. He got lucky, and it's only the 9-pin. Karen is taking her time. She's being the courteous woman that she is. She lets Moose Tracks go ahead of her because he has a terrible split. But we'll see them, and he picks it up. But we'll see them game 3. We'll see them game 3. He picked up that split. Very nice.
I got my the only best spare shooters in the house.
Yeah. And Karen releases it.
Karen.
The way Karen does, and she leaves a slightly weak 10-pin. Slightly weak 10-pin. You know, and for all you who are like, I'll leave the 10-pin, I throw it good. Oh my God, I threw it so good out of the 10-pin, out of the 10-pin. It's not always a good shot when you leave the 10-pin. You need to adjust off that. That was not a great shot by Karen. It hit the pocket, but it hit the pocket very late, very weak. The ball came behind the headpin, which is why the 4-pin just laid there. I'm sorry, the 6-pin just laid there. But she's at her 10-pin conversion. Looks good off her hand. Down the lane, and it's good. She is still clean. What's up, Peanut? What's up, Peanut? How you doing, bro? You getting big, boy? You like 40 now? How old are you now? Oh, you're 11. Well, listen, Peanut is probably taller than most of you. He is about 5'12", and I know that's not a number, but he's 5'12", and he's 11 years old. All right, back to the action. Brian Harn's up there, acting as if he has no care in the world. He's laughing. He's on the front 4. And here we go. That car guy did throw a strike. And Brian Harn steps up. The former belt holder in the Southeast is on the front 4 after going 238 game 1. Here we are. Looks good off his hand. And that is the front 5, ladies and gentlemen. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 10, all the way back. And that was all the way back. If you are watching and listening, you saw it. Listen, that was, yeah. Brian is throwing the ball really well. And now we're on to your bus drivers of the team. Gene Ayers, Randy Dino. Gene is on a turkey, looking to capitalize on that. Oh, he tapped his foot. He knew it was good, and it was. That is 4 in a row for Gene. That is 10 all the way back on lane 26. And Randy says, hey, I can strike too. He finally proves that he can strike too. He throws a strike. He's trying to come back at Gene, but right now Gene is in his mouth. Pause. And if you're looking at the scores, if you can't see them, it doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you what they are. G-Town heavy hitters on this handicap 2. 323, Kings Court 276. Going, we are in the 6th frame, in the middle of it. Anything can happen, ladies and gentlemen. We all know this. And Brian pulls the hell out of that. And he got lucky to leave the 5-pin. I see hands going up because they all are thirsty, as am I. But I'm also having a beverage right now. And it's delicious. Thanks, Bolero, for all that you do. I probably paid $27 for this drink, but that's a whole different conversation. Bolero, we love you. Right. All right, Karen Steiner is up. She is working on a spare, hoping for a strike. Looks good off her hand, and that is money. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 all the way back, and it was a beauty. Brian is shooting at his 5-pin, and it looks good. Picks up the 5-pin, but he is trailing the person that he needs to be beating right now. It's not happening. Kings Court 295, G-Town heavy hitters 343, going into the bottom of the 6th frame where your anchors who are doing anchor things. We just came off a pair where the anchors stunk it up. However, we are on a pair where the anchors are bowling like their position. Brian Hahn on the front 5, your former Southeast UBA champ. And here we go. And that is 10 all the way back. Phenomenal shot by Brian Hahn. He looks like he actually knows how to bowl. As he gives me 5, he's the only person that can get all the way up with me. And that car guy, off his hand, looks good. And he leaves the pocket 7-10. And it wasn't a great shot. What you would think, well, it hit the pocket. It came behind the hairpin and he threw the ball really fast. It didn't have any opportunity to move in the back end. And that's why he left that pocket 7-10, and he's pissed. Gets the 10-pin. All right, so that is his first open today. Because as I already told you, he went 300 first game. And that's his first open. Pocket 7-10. Stinks, but he knows he could have thrown it better. It wasn't a great shot. All right, your leadoffs, your bus drivers are now back up. Starting frame 7. With G-Town having a 60-pin lead without sticks. And Randy gets a terrible strike where he crumpled the big 4. I don't know how they fell, but they fell. He's on a double. He's happy. He's ecstatic. He's not throwing it well at all. He needs to make an adjustment. The person who does not need to make an adjustment is Gene, who was throwing it really well. And he leaves a 7-pin. Little fast. This should be an easy spare for him. Brian Rogers is up on the spare. Let's see what he can do. Let's see if he can bring that deficit down from 67 pins. He throws that thing way right, and he leaves the 1, 2, 4. Which, as we say, you ain't getting no head, bro. All right, Gene puts up the 7-pin. Let's see what Brian does with this spare. That should be very easy for a righty or a lefty. Hopefully he doesn't miss the hairpin twice. The way he's bowling, anything's possible. And he converts that spare. Karen Steiner's up. She's on the strike. Her team is also up by 52 pins. Also, the former team that she used to bowl on. So I'm probably going to ask her a few questions about bowling her old team as she comes off the lane. But right now, she's focused on the 7th frame, trying to strike. And that car guy is also trying to get off this open. Off his hand. Money. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way back for the guy who was perfect game 1. Good shot, Jeremiah. Karen Steiner. Looks like she got a little inside, and she knows it, and she's lucky to only leave the 3-pin. Bad shot, a very good break. Also, just want to let you know, I don't have any scores from these matches, but the other matches that are going on right now, we have the Carolina Rollers versus Teamsters 10-10. The featured match, Kings Court versus G-Town Heavy Hitters, which is what you're watching right now. And on the far right, the Militia versus Southern Style Mafia. This is the second squad of the QC district. Arguably one of the hardest districts in the UBA. Doesn't get the respect and props that it deserves, but it doesn't matter. Because, you know, the UBA champs 2 years ago came from our district. And there's Karen picking up that 3-pin. And so we slide on down to Brian Hahn, who is perfect after 6. Wanting to see what he's going to do. He is currently running his mouth as if he does not have to bowl, and now he gets up. What's up? Talking to Brian Rogers right now. I'm probably going to have a brief interview with him in a few minutes, but I want to talk to him after he throws a strike because he's not looking happy right now at all, and he's a better bowler than what he's displaying, but he's stinking it up right now. However, Brian Hahn, front 6, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see what he does. He is literally going 10 back every single frame. Let's see what he does right now. And at some point, I'm going to give you total scores after game 2. And the messenger goes and slides out that 10-pin. So he's on the front 7. Great shot. Well, it wasn't a great shot, but it was a strike. And when you're hot, you're hot. You know, sometimes you can get away with shots like that. That was a light mixture to definitely threw a messenger over the 10-pin. And here's Gene in frame 8 with 10 all the way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way back for Gene Ayers. And Randy continues to throw the ball, not great. He was on a double, lucky double, but he leaves the 2-pin, and that should be an easy conversion for this righty, but he's not really throwing it well, so I don't know what he's going to do. He needs to step it up because he's driving the bus, and right now that bus is going nowhere. They are currently getting smacked by almost 90 pins. He picks up that 2-pin as he should because he's a solid bowler. It's just not in the cards right now for him. You know, it's just not in the cards for him. But it's okay. The aforementioned Karen Steiner leaves a 5-7. Very light, very weak, very bad shot. It's really only a 2-board adjustment, but she's going to have to do that next frame. Brian Rogers, who's been throwing the ball deplorably all day, is up. Let's see what he does. He trips out the 4-pin for a strike. Ladies and gentlemen, he started the game off with a double and has not thrown a strike until now, which is the 8th frame. I know he's a little happier than he was, but he knows he didn't throw it well. So he sits in the settee area, probably to sulk, as Karen tries to pick up this 5-7 split. And does not.
We're going to switch to handicap 1 since they're about to start, and we're going to close the match off.
Okay.
We're going to close everything off. With back. They're probably going to have like 5 frames.
Yeah. So we're about to go over the handicap. All right. Ladies and gentlemen, just want to let you know we're going to. You know how you watch football games and they go to the game that's a little more entertaining. We're going to get off this handicap 2 pair and smoothly go over to handicap 1, the middle pair. What I like to call the heartbeat of the team because they're in the middle. We're going to handicap 1 in about a minute because they are just finishing up game 1. And Brian Hahn is on the front 8. So we're going to keep an eye on that because even though right now it is a stinky stink matchup because they're up by about 100, on this pair we got a 300 game 1. We just very well may get a 300 game 2 on 25 and 26. But now, absolutely. But as I previously said, we're going to slide over to handicap 1. But again, we're still focusing on handicap 2 right now. We got some good bowling over there. Not a good matchup, though. G-Town is smacking him. And Gene throws it like complete and utter garbage and leaves a 3-6-10. Coming soon, we're going to have an interview with our district manager, Lee Bolin, who is also bowling currently right now. But we're going to talk to him in a few moments after this because we will be featuring his pair game 3. He's also he's also a guy I have a lot of respect for because the job that he does, nobody wants to do. Not nobody. Gene picks up the 3-6-10. over on Handicap 2. And if you're just tuning in, ladies and gentlemen, this Handicap 2 is not a close matchup at all right now. Even though Kings Court won the first game, G-Town is destroying them right now. They're up by 100 about pins right now. Brian Horner's on the front 8. We're going to see how that unfolds as we are about to turn the page to the middle pair. Again, the pair that I like to call the heartbeat of every team, the middle of the madness. And this is where you want your energetic people. This is where you want your people who will cheer for everyone. This is also where you want your bowlers. This is where, yes, this is where the heartbeat of the team resides, ladies and gentlemen. This is it. And so we slide over to this pair right now. And I'm going to tell you who's bowling. So Kings Court, on the middle pair, Handicap 1, we have Kyle Horn leading off, followed by Dorshawn Pearson, and leading and following in anchor position is John Moose. On G-Town heavy hitters, we have Erica Bone leading off. We got Lee Bolin in the middle spot, and we got Chuck Ritchie, the coach, anchoring that team. And I'm going to give you numbers. Kyle Horn is 217. Dorshawn Pearson is 202. John Moose is 218. Erica Bone is 200. Lee Bolin is 219. And Chuck Ritchie is 229. Kings Court is giving G-Town 8 pins on this pair. They're giving them 8. So that's almost scratch. So we got clean so far from the first frame by both Kyle and Erica. But coming soon, we'll be interviewing the QC District Manager, Lee Bolin, after he throws his ball, and I know he probably hopes it's a strike, but we'll be talking to him shortly. Is that mine? Listen, drinks are flowing. Lee Bolin is up. Looks good off his hand. That is not good as it gets to the pins. He almost leaves a split, but that is a 4-pin. That should be a very easy conversion for Lee. One of the leaders on this team, also one of the logistic leaders in this district. He runs the QC district, and he does a phenomenal job doing so. He does not get the credit that he deserves, but I'm going to have a few moments of a conversation with him after he picks up this 4-pin. And my main man Charlie is looking at me. He seems to be enjoying the audio, and I know he enjoys the ring they got 2 years ago. He's also a phenomenal guy. Hey, Lee, the people want to know. They want to know. They want to know. Being that you run this district and you do a phenomenal job at it, I might add, I don't think you get the props you deserve. It's sometimes a position that you don't get love for. But how is it when you run it and bowl?
It's not easy. But I trust our district enough to make sure they're making the right calls out there on the lanes. We very seldom have big issues or any drama, so we try to keep that to a bare minimum.
We are a district that has little drama, and a lot of that has to do with the leadership of the district, and it also has to do with you've compiled a phenomenal team in the time that you've been. You wear the crown. You have won it all in the UBA. So just give me a brief feeling about how that felt to pull it all out, man, when all odds were against you guys 2 years ago.
It was truly amazing back then. 2 years ago to take the team we had. Obviously, we didn't, on paper, we didn't have the best lineup we could have had. If you look at our roster's pretty deep. And to go there and to pull it out with the team that we had. We have a lot of heart. We don't give up. And just like in this match right here, we're down right now, but we're going to show you guys what world champions are made of.
Absolutely, and that's why we're focusing on your pair. Game 3, Handicap 1. Appreciate you, Lee. Thank you for your time. Go do your thing, brother. And he's right. It is a very close match. I'm trying to get numbers right now. Yes. All right, so thank you. Thank you, Charlie. I appreciate you. Scratch pair for G-Town. They're up. The middle pair is they're about 30 in the end pair handicap 2. They are fighting at it. Also, I have to continue to tell you, Brian Hahn is on the front 9. He is still doing it. And that pair has had a perfect game 1 by Jeremiah. And it's looking like it may be close game 2. We ain't going to count those chickens yet. But Brian is on the front 9. And we have a match. And I told you guys from the beginning, these two teams, they intertwine, baby. They have people that were on both teams, and they look at each other. They want to fight. They want to win. But here we are, game 3. Let's go. Handicap 1. We're in the second frame. Lee Bowling, 9-pin. Dorshawn with the 7-pin. Lee picks up his spare. And Mr. Pearson picks up his. I'm sorry, that was a 4-pin, not a 7-pin. So your middle guys are even. They are clean. Your leadoffs, your bus drivers are clean. And again, your anchors, they're on strikes. Chuck Rich is on the strike, as is John Moose. They're both on strikes going into frame 2. And this game is essential. I really feel like whoever wins this pair is going to win the overall match. And Chuck, smooth as can be, 10-pin. Wasn't his best shot, but it damn sure wasn't bad. John Moose tracks, lining up. He releases. Looks like he's throwing out of pro, also a 10-pin. Not the greatest shot, but it was a damn good shot. They both probably would have loved to carry that, but they did not. So Chuck throws out his 10-pin right now. That is a spare. We'll see what John does. Right now, all G-Town heavy hitters are clean on this handicap 1. John, the anchor, is trying to make Kings Court also clean on this handicap 1. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a match. It is probably about 40 pins difference in total right now going into game 3. Brian Hahn still on the front 3, and John whips that thing. He whips it, he misses. You hear it in the back on live TV, ladies and gentlemen. He missed a 10-pin. I can't talk because I also missed a 10-pin early on live TV. I'm not extremely happy about it. I'm also not happy that my team lost by 12 pins. That's a whole nother conversation for another day. But we got 14 points. We cannot talk about it because I have the mic and I will punch you in the face, Gene. Thank you very much. And Gene also finishes that first game with a 2-15. Second game. Karen struggles with a 173 and Brian is still on the front 9, and Erica just leaves a 4-pin, a little high. Kyle throws the ball extremely poorly. He needs a 3-6-10, but you hear that? That's because Brian Hahn is on the front 10. Your former Southeast UBA champion is on the front 10, game 2. You're going to it right now, and we're going to it. We're giving you visual right now. Brian Hahn not looking like he's on the front 10 at all. He's chilling. He's smooth. He's been here before. As I told you, he's a former Southeast heavyweight champion. Gotcha. And I am in the way. Oh! That was not the greatest shot, but it did not matter. It is 10, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way back. And you hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are just tuning in, Jeremiah Avery shot 300 game 1 on the same pair for Kings Court. Brian Hahn is now trying to keep this pair perfect. The handicap 2 pair. Having a perfect game in the first 2 games, that is a feat not many do. But here's Brian lining it up, teeing it up for hopefully strike number 12. Here we go. Off your hand. Oh my God. You saw it. With the kiss of the 4-pin at the end, Brian Hahn goes 300. And just like first game, I talked to Jeremiah after it. Brian Hall, the former UBA Southeast champion, heavyweight that is. How did that feel to throw the ball like completing other shit, the last ball, but still strike?
Well, I threw the first 11 great. I wasn't about to throw the 12th one good and try to strike. Well, no way. No way.
Yeah, so 11 out of 12, right? Hey, phenomenal game, brother. Hey, man, y'all keep it going. Y'all are in a dog fight right now. It is a dog fight. All three pairs are doing what they need to do to win this match. G-Town is up right now. Brian Hall goes 300. As I told you earlier, Jeremiah Avery went 300 for Kings Court. They slide into game 3. And G-Town won that game. Scratch, 688 to 603. I'm not adding up the handicap, but I told you earlier, it's a 16-pin difference. I don't remember who was giving who, but let's just go in and say G-Town won that game on handicap too. Now we slide over to your visual, to what you're seeing. Oh yeah, Lee Bolin with a 10-pin. He goes 9 spare, 9 spare, 9 miss. He missed that one.
Let's go. Let's go.
That may come up to be very big as we slide into the end of this game. I will be conversing with Charlie to figure out what the total pins are right now, but as I told you earlier, it is very close. These two teams, they love to battle. It's not like Carolina Duke that hate each other, because they don't hate each other, but they don't want the other person to win either. So yeah, you know, some people would say that G-Town was formed from Kings Court and blah, blah, blah. None of that really matters right now. All you got to do is throw the ball, and Chuck Ritchie is throwing the ball with a strike. The coach, my guy,
Hold up that middle, guys.
big strike. And no bias, because I really would love G-Town to lose. Also like Kings Court to lose. I would like this to end in a tie, so there's no bias from me, you know. No bias. I'm just calling it as I see it. Good shot, Erica. She throws a strike. And I'm giving her a high five because she's one of the shortest people in the building. Just give her 5. And her name is Little Shorty because not only is she short, she knows she's short. So that's big. All right, let's see what Cal does. Cal goes 10 back. And here we are. All right, so G-Town heavy hitters are down 34 pins total. We all know total means everything. That's 10 points. So as I told you earlier, it is coming down to the middle pair, the heartbeat of the team, the heartbeat of the UBA. It goes from the middle and it slides its way out, ladies and gentlemen. But here we are. Frame 4, Lee Bolin on the open. Doshawn Pearson on a open as well. He lets it go. Bang, bang, Siegel Street. That is 10 all the way back. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's see what the spin master, Mr. Bolin, does. Right now, he's also on the open. He missed a 10 pin, and I know he's very pissed off about that. And here we go. Off his hand. It's money. It's 10 back. It's 10 all the way back. That is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Lee Bolin, 10 all the way back, ladies and gentlemen. And we have a dog fight. Have you guys ever seen cats fight? Anyway, doesn't matter. We have a dog fight because we're just going to keep it with the dogs. We're going to stay in the middle pair. Chuck Ritchie's up. John Moose is up. I'm sorry. Yeah, I was right. John Moose is up. Throwing the idle, pro, strike. 10 all the way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All the way back. Chuck Ritchie's trying to do the same thing as the anchor position. He does not, ladies and gentlemen. He does not. That is the 4-6-7 split. One of the hardest split conversions to ever pick up. That split sucks. And that changes the trajectory of what we have going on right now. We're going to let Chuck finish, but as we go into frame 5, it's probably going to be about a 6-pin difference. I have not added in handicap because I don't care about that right now. I'm just giving you the scratch. I'm giving you the real. I'm giving you the raw. Pause. No diddy. So let's go. Woo! That was a good shot. And as I said, a little closer, a little further away. It's 195 to 179. Erica just gets a count on that strike. So G-Town is up in the middle pair right now. But ladies and gentlemen, it is exciting. I wish you could see the entire situation in here. This is what the UBA brings to the QC district. And again, one of the most slept on districts. We don't get the props we deserve. We literally have the UBA champs from 2 years ago, and you still don't give us the love we deserve, and I'm off that. But let's go. We're here doing what we do. That is a 4-pin by Kyle. Erica picked up her spare. Kyle picks up his, and we're rolling, ladies and gentlemen. We are rolling. You know, as we watch this situation, I like to give out a few shout-outs. I Hate Your Guts Productions. Those my boys. You know, that's what we do. I got to give a shout-out to my boys, for sure. Let's do it. Also got to give a shout-out to Lee Bolin with a double. And that makes up for that 10-pin that he missed. Also, you know, respect is going to be given because I am a DMV guy. So I got to give respect to SBC, who are your current UBA champions. There was a time where people said the DMV did not have the bowlers. I heard it. I bowled in DMV, and y'all have lost y'all mind. SBC showed y'all what it was. They represented. They finished it. And they are the current champs. They are. And so everyone's chasing them. Everyone wants that gold. They want that crown. Chuck Ritchie with another 10-pin.
Hey, Chuck, on the wall, baby. Let's go.
So this is tour stop number 3 in the QC district. And if you're just tuning in real quick, got to give you a brief rundown of what happened and what transpired earlier today at the early squad. Mob versus Minister Society, another crazy match. Total pinfall was 12 pins, but Mob was triumphant in that, 26-14. Dilligaff versus 187 Inc. That was not close at all. Dilligaff won 30-10. And in the closest match thus far, Venom versus Natural Disaster. The deciding pinfall was 1-2 pins. Yeah, you heard it. 2 pins. Natural Disaster won 26-14. That was your earlier spill. That was your earlier matchup. The featured match earlier was Mob versus Minister Society. Very loud, very entertaining. Crazy, came down to the 10th frame literally in that match. Also, what you have going on if you're just tuning in. To our left, we got the Carolina Rollers versus the Teamsters 10-10 in a heated matchup. What you've been watching since you've been here is Kings Court versus G-Town Heavy Hitters. And to the right, we have the Militia versus Southern Style Mafia. But right now, we are in this dogfight. 34 pins is the difference between losing and winning after 2 games. We're in the middle pair, the heartbeat of the team, ready to ride. Frame 6, let's go. We got Erica leading off. We got Kyle leading off. What is going to transpire in the next 5 frames? Tune in. Let's go. Oh, Erica throws it well. And that's money. 10 all the way back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 for G-Town Heavy Hitters. 10 all the way back. Kyle says, he tried to say what you can do, I can do better, but he leaves a flush 7. Oh, my God. I know he's mad. He's going to talk about it when he goes home. If he's married at all, he's going to tell his wife, I threw it so good, baby. God, you should have saw that shot. But, 7 pins still stands, and they still are down by 10 pins. Lee Bolin is up on a double. Let's see what he does. Also, if you're just tuning in, the Handicap 2 pair has been going bananas this match. We had a 300 from Jeremiah Avery of Kings Court, first game, and we had a 300 by Brian Hall in game 2, Kings Court, G-Town. Oh my God, they are going bananas over there on that pair. But what I can tell you right now, if you wanted to know, would we get a perfect game 3 on that pair? We will not have a perfect pair on 25 and 26, even though we had perfect games, game 1 and game 2, but they are also in a dog fight. Hey, you know, why do we, Erica, I want to ask you a quick question. Why do we call it dog fights? Have you ever seen cats fight?
Yes.
Do they fight really badly?
Yes.
So why the hell are we calling it dog fights? All right, that is the shortest person in the building who just threw the ball phenomenally, says we maybe should start calling it cat fights. Ladies and gentlemen, and let me also give you a brief Well, a brief description of what happened. So I was bowling across from my homie, my sister, somebody I went to high school with, and she went back 4 on me, and we lost by 12. Betty, how did you feel about that?
I like whooping your butt today.
She says
It was fun.
it was a great match by 2 teams that love each other but hate each other. You know how it goes.
North Carolina, baby. Duke.
It's Duke of North Carolina without the hate, but they got us by 12. Yes, great bowling, Betty.
Same to you, baby.
All right, appreciate you. All right, we're back to live action, ladies and gentlemen. You see it. Deshaun picked up his spare. And we are down to the anchor. The anchor, my bad, Kyle, I'm sorry. The anchor is currently on an open. He really needs a strike because right now they're down by a smooth 30 pins. Actually, I'm lying, they're down by 40. That makes it a little closer. The anchor decides to do anchor things. John Moose decides to throw a strike, and he needed that because he was on the split. And I can see it in his face. He is not happy. But he does know there are 10 frames, and there are not 7 frames or 6 frames in the game. So this is coming down to the wire, ladies and gentlemen. Cal throws an awful shot and leaves a 10 pin. But it was one of those 10 pins that shouldn't have been a 10 pin. Probably should have been a 4, 6, 7, 10. But it's a 10. He's lucky. Erica throws it good and leaves a 10. So here we are. And even though you're not seeing this right now on the scratch pair, it's very close. It's less than 30 pins. On Handicap 2 right now, it's very close. It's less than 20 pins. I'm telling you right now, after 2 games, G-Town was down by 34 pins. Every pin matters. And these people are bowling like every pin matters. Okay? You see it in their face. You see it in the way they're releasing. You see it in their adjustments. You see it in the ball changes. They know this is not just a regular tour stop. This is a big-time